A very warm welcome to our IC Tales audience. Hope you all are having a great day. My name is Shruthee and I'll be the host for this interview. So today we have with us Ms. Sudipta Mondal, a holistic health coach who lives a minimal and sustainable lifestyle using ancient and natural methods. She's also a certified nutrition and lifestyle health coach who helps in healing others through her one-on-one coaching sessions. Today we'll have an insight into a wonderful journey. So hi ma'am, how are you and how does it feel to be here?
Hi, thank you for having me here. And it feels amazing because this time of the day is my favorite time where I can rest, relax, and chill. So I'm looking forward to have a nice conversation with you and sharing a bit of my journey as well.
Yes, likewise, ma'am. So can we get started with the questions?
Yes.
Yes. So you are basically a holistic health coach. So this term is not, that common among all the profession and all that. So could you make us understand what a holistic health coach is?
Yeah. So I had learned this from one of my teachers that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So whatever it is in nature, you will always see it as a whole. You will not see a tree as just the roots or just the leaves or just the branches. When it grows all together. So same way, holistic, the word holistic means that rather than focusing solely on one symptom or isolated issues, it looks at a whole person. So for example, you're putting all the pieces of puzzle together, and then you are kind of creating a new kind of method to make yourself like healthy and functional.
Yes.
So for example, when we talk about health or when we say fitness or fit or strong, we always use our body as the parameter.
Yes.
Whereas there is mind, there is heart, there is mindset, there is social connection, there's nature connection, there are so many other aspects. So holistic basically means that what are your values in life, what are your goals in life, that also comes a part of what if your health. How do you treat yourself on daily basis? What is the narrative you use for your life, to define your life or to define your goals? That is also one very big aspect of health journey, I would say, rather than focusing on that how much fat you have, how much muscle you have. Of course it's part, but it's not whole. So of
Yes.
course it starts with the body, but it also goes through deeper aspects of well-being. So for me, I have started my journey as only focusing on body or aesthetic goals, but then I also delve deeper into it, and understanding that one cannot function without the other. It is interconnected. And if I treat it as a whole, like a whole, all the pieces of puzzle, if I bring it together, only then the problem can be solved or any issue can be solved.
Yeah, of course. It's very relatable because whenever we think of nutrition, it's always only, people are so busy that they think it's only about, physical looks and, health and not mentally and not, they don't think how you just explained. So with that, that reminds me of my next question. Everyone in their life, they have this point where they decide like, okay, this is what I'm gonna pursue and this is what I'm gonna do. So where did it all start? Could you give us an insight?
Yeah. So I would say when I was in my early 20s, I was working as a dancer, professional artist on stage, and I was physically very active. So the shape of my body was quite good, according to the dance industry and all. So, but the lifestyle, the time which we used to sleep at, or the connection which we used to have with our friends, it was very shallow. It was not that profound. And I understood that if I have to make a change in my health journey, I have to also start looking at what I eat, when I sleep, what products I'm using, on my skin. Am I getting time to kind of take a vacation, or am I working 24/7, 24/7, 365 days? And am I being able to give time to my family or friends who matter? So it started with self inquiry basically. And when I came to Bombay in 2015, so I got married through a like a matrimonial site, and when I shifted to Bombay. And of course, it was good initially, but it didn't work out, unfortunately, or I would say fortunately, it didn't work out, because that was a time where I actually started my self-awareness journey. And the first step was awareness. What am I doing? How am I thinking? What am I speaking? What am I hearing? What kind of friends do I surround myself with? What kind of books I read, and how do I want to see myself after 10 years or 15 years, 20 years? And I, because of my personal relationship and the trauma which I was going through, I could see that I'm feeling very haggard, I'm feeling old, I'm feeling weak, even if my body's shape is good. But internally I knew that my hair is falling, my skin is getting irritated, I'm not getting good sleep. So that was the first step, where you actually accept and acknowledge that this is it, this is your situation in life. Do you want to settle with this mediocrity, or you want to go ahead of it, or you want to make some changes? And that's where the first thing which I changed in my life, which brought this holistic approach into my life and in my students' life, was sleeping on time. So even
That's
if I couldn't get sleep, like, I altered it, like, by just lying down on the bed and just doing yoga nidra, even if I'm not getting sleep. So it took me time. It took me like a month to change the whole circadian rhythm of, my routine. But eventually, within a month, I could sleep like by 9 p.m. I could wake up by 4 a.m. I didn't know what to do after waking up at 4 a.m.
yeah.
I just thought I'll wake, but then I started going out for nature walks. I started meditating. I started breathing, doing breath work early morning. Or I just, maybe I used to get up in the morning. I used to do all my cleaning of my house, and then, start with my breakfast, start making my breakfast. So very simple daily routine, small changes. It was not a very big thing that, oh, it just changed overnight and I heard some lecture or some motivational talks. It was not that. I actually stopped reading self-help books when I was going through this phase. I said, instead of books, let me observe. The first step of change is observation. So I started observing every action and thoughts of my life, not the past, not the future, but in the present. And that was when I started acknowledging. And then I wrote down, then I started journaling. Then I could see the whole pattern, that, oh, these are my patterns which I need to unlearn, and these are the patterns which I need to stick on to. So that's how the whole came into picture. Because initially in my 20s, because we function from our ego, and post 30s, there's a lot of changes in women's bodies, especially because of the hormonal changes. So I started realizing that I can take this opportunity to kind of build myself up instead of kind of degrading myself, be it with physical or mental or emotional well-being.
So that's quite a journey. Actually, it's very beautiful to hear, how you builded yourself up. Like, as you said, you woke up and you went to the morning walks, you started journalizing and all that. And also, we always think something and it doesn't work out, but at the end, it's always for good. So I
Yeah.
think that has worked out perfectly for you. So with that, just when you think of the word health and being physical activity and all that, uh, the first thing that comes to our mind is yoga and gym. So, according to that, how do you think yoga is related to holistic health coaching? How do you think it's important in one's life?
I studied yogasana practice and yogic practices. Both are different but interconnected
Okay.
in my zone. Okay, so with my guru, and I realized that yogasana, again, it's very physical, but it's important to start your day with moving your body. But what you do after that, how are your thoughts after that? How do you conduct yourself, and how do you behave with others after that? That also, what you eat, that also comes um in the yogic practices. So initially, when I was intrigued by yoga, I thought, okay, it's about like vrikshasana, it's about back bending, it's about inversion, it's about balancing on one leg, which is true again, but I was only seeing it from one lens.
Yes.
And then that's where I started my journey with doing Zumba, Pilates, martial arts, calisthenics, parkour. I started studying different kind of movement disciplines, dance hall, house, different kind of dance forms and styles, which integrated different parts of the body, belly dance. So all these things actually kind of is necessary. So a lot of people right now, they see one style as this is the thing, this is it. Like yoga, people who practice yoga, they will not run. Runners will not do yoga. CrossFit people will not be open to play a tennis ball game. you know Swimmers will not go and do some stretching. So it's like everybody has built a boundary around them that, oh,
Yeah.
this is my life. Yeah, no, and I should be focused on only one thing, which is great. Of course, focus is needed, but more than that, I feel that if you are open to exploration, you let your body move in different directions, different levels, different ways, in different modes of, like, for example, I recently learned swimming, and I felt like, oh my god, why did I miss out on this for all my like 30 years? And I understood the way my body moves in the air, it is different in the water. The same way, when you move in sync with all the five elements of nature, then you won't have to think that, should I do yoga, should I do parkour, should I do one kind of discipline? So you can be interested, and there can be a favorite, but you should not restrict only to yoga being a holistic approach. Holistic means out of the box, not labeling your movement discipline as well. And that's how I found parkour, like, where I felt like, oh, there is climbing, there is rolling, there is pushing, there is pulling, there is leaping, there is squatting, there is so many things, there is swinging. So there's so much, to do. And when I practice my yoga breath work or yoga asana, I integrate that play nature into my yoga practice as well. So instead of, some days, instead of doing one leg balance, for example, I do single leg balance, but I do belly dance in that, or I start singing a song, or I just do juggling, being on one leg. So you, and outside the mat, on the mat, both. So you should not be able to do headstand only when you're in a studio and the mat is there. You should be able to do it on a stone, on a grass, on a sand, like sandy surface. So for me,
Yes.
yoga became that. It became a lifestyle, not very typically studio oriented culture.
Yeah.
So if I talk about yoga in this way, then definitely it's holistic. But if I kind of confine it to confined spaces, then it's not yoga, I feel.
It's always said that you should always come out of your comfort zone and try new things so that, like how you discovered. So, yeah. So, with yoga comes obviously nutrition, and they say whatever you consume is what is shown outside to the body.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
how do you think nutrition is incorporated with, health and yoga?
Yeah. So whatever we eat, we become that. That's very true. Now it depends from person to person. There's no one size shoe for everyone, right? So the thumb rule which I follow and which I propagate to my students as well is eat local, seasonal, and freshly prepared. Have a lot of raw and natural food. So with nutrition also, I don't give them a diet chart where they have to eat this much, this quantity, measuring food, like measuring calories, because your body is much more than calorie. So it is also an amalgamation of your thoughts. How you eat your food also matters than what you eat. So if you're going to Italy and if you're thinking, oh, pizza is not good for health, but the way they bake their bread is so healthy. But here it's different. So if you're in South India, go and have the local food over there and how it's prepared. So I feel, when you know the source of your food, from where it's coming and how it's being cooked, how it's being eaten, this completes the whole picture. And not just, oh, because I have muesli and yogurt, oh, this is healthy, this is unhealthy. So food is not bad or right, it has
Yeah.
it has many layers. So for me, nutrition is again a whole concept. Like it wasn't like that. I used to also feel like, oh, I used to get up in the morning and I would take like Greek yogurt. And then I asked myself, but am I in Greece? You know, I am in India, in Bombay, in this humid weather. Why am I having this yogurt? And then I started reading labels. Then I started reading ingredients, and I could see that the first three ingredients was so harmful. It's not adding, it's actually kind of subtracting a lot of nutritional value from my body. So then I started with how our grandparents ate, like starting your day with fruits, having have and when I'm having lunch, I'm having single grain. In dinner I'm having it light. Before 8 p.m. I finish my dinner. So but also on the days where I work mentally, I work, or maybe I'm awake for late, I will eat food. I will not be like, oh, dinner jaldi karna chahiye. So I kind of, I'm not uptight. I know the basic thumb rule, but I'm not uptight also. I'm open. When I'm traveling, it's different. It's like that. And I also eat what I like. It's very important to know what your body likes. Like I am a rice eater, so I generally don't like rotis or parathas. So but I won't tell my student that, oh, this is gluten free, so you should not have chapati. No. If you are making a chapati, add more vegetables into it and make the chapati. So it's like that. You strike a balance. You don't say this is no, this is right, this is wrong, this is unhealthy. It's not like that. And what does your body feels like? What instead of thinking how much calorie this has, how much protein percentage, how much fat, you should think, when I'm eating this food, am I feeling fulfilled? Am I feeling satiated? Am I Is this digestible easily? Am I feeling heavy? Am I feeling sleepy, or am I feeling energized? That itself should be a parameter of your how healthy your food is for you, for your
Yeah.
body type,
Yeah.
for the surroundings you are, for the environment you're living in. So that's how I approach nutrition.
Yeah. So
It's
of
a lot
course,
more detailed. It's a lot more
yeah.
detailed, but this is the basic idea.
Yes. Yeah. So obviously nowadays the word healthy has been commercialized so much that every single, not even even the cheese and the butter we think which is unhealthy has become like healthy butter or something like that in supermarkets. So obviously
Dating,
apart
milk
from,
butter, yeah. Then mock meat. So all these isms, no. See, I myself, I'm a whole food plant-based, practitioner, and I love it, But I don't believe in being an activist, Like vegans, they will shout and yell at people. They don't know how to
yeah,
behave. They will like, if you are having a non-veg meal, then the vegan people, they will like go against you. They will cut their cord with you. So that's not how you should treat food. Food is something to get bonded with. It's a social thing. So it's an emotion. So that's what the food industry takes advantage of. They
exactly.
they know people are fearful, so they will make you feel like, oh, are you gaining weight? Focus on protein more than fat. Where the have our muesli or have our this and that.
Yeah.
So if we function from the space of lack, then definitely we'll fall into this trap.
Yeah. So as you said, not only you should eat healthy, but also analyze the fact whether it's making you energized more or, it's making you heavy or something like that. So yeah. So with that, I went through your Instagram account and I saw something called as Leap. Uh, I think it's a workshop or something. So could you
It's
explain
my
more
4 month
to?
program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, see, um it's been almost like last 7-8 years that, again, it started with a self inquiry that do I want to become a fitness trainer, or do I want to become a health coach? Do I want to just reduce people's weight, or do I want to make them healthy from body and mind? And
Yeah.
that's how their leap got born. So and I wanted to do a job where I feel very passionate, where it's changeable, it's not fixed. It is not, it can be customized from person to person. So the leap program is a 4 month online and offline both program, where you again, like, whatever I believe in, whatever I experience, and whatever has been my like certifications, whatever I've studied, I put every practice into that. For example, leap is for a 4-year-old kid also who wants to kind of develop his skill, like learning skill, and it is for also a 60-year-old who is facing some chronic ailment or disease. So it is again meant for everyone, but the program modifies, the program changes according to the need and the goal of the person. But ultimate goal for everyone is optimum functioning of mind, body, spirit. Making your body strong, making your mind open, having a positive mindset, breathing, well, sleeping well. So all these components are there in leap, and it's a 4-month program because nothing can change overnight. So
Of course.
I I request people who sign up that if you can give me your 4 months, then we can start talking. Then we can start our health journey. Just give me a moment, I'll switch on the light. Suddenly it's like
Sure.
stormy and like suddenly, yeah. So yeah, so I think I feel what you do is not that important, but how you do is important.
Yeah.
Be it a job, be it with your health journey as well. So leap is about transforming, and understanding and unlearning the patterns which doesn't serve you anymore. That pattern can serve someone else, but not you. Maybe the way you talk to people needs to change, or maybe the stress which you're taking, anticipatory stress, that what will happen in the future, will I get diabetes? My dadaji had diabetes, but so all these kind of stress,
Yeah.
and all these kind of approach needs to be unlearned.
Yeah.
What can you do right now? How much do you know? Are you educating yourself? Are you empowering yourself with the knowledge which you need for your health? So that's where people come to leap, and I work on one-on-one basis more than group. Of course, group is there offline, but I enjoy more one-on-one, because again, it kind of, it's a very personal
Yeah.
journey. So that is what leap is about. And I don't take more than like 8 people in 4 months, so that I have only 8 people to
Yeah.
focus on. So I'm not like 80 people, so that's why I actually don't have too many workshops or say retreats. And because it is good, it's not that it is not good, but it is again a short term thing.
Yeah.
So that's
So
what leap is.
obviously, yeah. So you must obviously be great at what you're doing. So yeah, you were about to
Sorry,
say something.
I can't hear you. I think your voice is breaking. Can you repeat?
I said obviously, you must be great at what you're doing, and people will be intrigued to join at your course and workshop as well. Is it audible right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as you mentioned before, apart from the usual walking and strength training and all that, you do a lot of other activities, like jumping, and all the other sort of activities which I noticed in your Instagram. So, how, in this busy world, obviously, everyone is just so focused on whenever they hear the name physical activity, they just go straight on to just walking or strength training at the gym. So how important is it to, keep changing the way they look at, because everybody is so focused on just physical activity, they completely just forget about the mental activity too. And you also mentioned about different games at your workshop. So how do you think all these different activities affects or have an impact on mental health?
Yeah. So play has been an integral part of my life. Like as a child, I have always been very uh like excited about playing games, be it with indoor games or like of the 90s, obviously not the online ones, and also outdoor games, a lot. So when I was also like kind of going through the transition of my health journey as well, I realized that if I go out and just look at a kid and play with a kid in the park, I just feel energized, I just feel happy.
Yeah.
I don't have to like just like a task, like a small task, that okay, maybe run behind the kid, or just mimic a kid rolling and trying to climb and
Yes.
trying to swing. So I started mimicking kids in the park. And that's how I understood that play is such a important aspect of your mental health, because it like immediately kind of brings a mindset shift. You will be happy, you cannot be not happy, you will forget all the troubles. So so that's how I feel that even in my training, like some days when of course there are set exercises, there is a compact program, but just give me one moment, okay? It's suddenly like raining. I
Sure.
just closed the windows, I'm so sorry. It's got drenched.
It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah. So basically, um yeah, and also while playing with kids, what I noticed that it brings a lot of focus. You cannot think about anything else. Like if I tell you to balance on a rail, even if it is like at a lower height, you will not think about anything because you want to balance. So
Yeah.
yeah, and you want to do it because it's fun. So play is a form of meditation, but with focus, but being like smiling and laughing about it. You're not feeling frustrated, you're not feeling annoyed.
Yeah.
So that's why I started integrating all the games and play, and it has been in our ancient culture as well. All the ladies, women used to play different games. They used to come together as community. Men, there are sports in so many ages, and also like kids. If you see them playing outdoors these days, it's very like rare actually. But we as 90s kids, 80s kids, I would say rather, like used to play a lot. Like used to make come up with our own games, like,
Yeah.
and there was team spirit in it. There is a team spirit in it. There is like a task solving kind of focused mind in it. And also like you breathe well, and also you have fun. If you're also failing and falling, you're not taking it to your heart. So, and there is also coordination of your hand eye body, and there's also coordination of the different direction. There's a lot of games where you have to run behind, not forward. And how often do we walk back or run behind in our general lives? We don't. So there is lot of opportunities for personal growth, physical growth, mental growth, and also emotional growth. You becomes resilient, you
Yeah.
know. So that's how my approach kind of includes the bilateral coordination tools and drills, and like visual games. Okay, double task games, and then also how can you develop your sensory capacities, how can you kind of silence your mind while you're doing these tasks. So and you have to experience it, like that's what I feel like. There is so much to share, there's so much benefits of playing that I cannot like express in words. Like you have to experience it, be it with tennis ball, be it with the rail, be it with your rolling on the ground, or just like be it with kabaddi, or like whatever games we used to play, be it with stones. And so there was this incident when my cook, she brought her son one day, and he's like 3 years old, so he's a toddler. And she just gave him the doormat, okay. And he for 1 hour, I told him that don't come in, I'm taking a class. And that cute little kid, he started playing with the doormat, he started making different shapes. And then he started, after making shapes, he started sitting on it and kind of dancing on it in different ways. And I noticed him for an hour almost, that my god, he has created a new game out of this, like with just a small little doormat. So he's also kind of working on his brain development, creativity. And this you can't find if you do 50 squats. Of course your muscles will grow
Of
stronger,
course.
but you will not have fun every day while doing 50 squats. It will be like a task, but task without smiling and laughing,
Yeah.
So I'm not denying the importance of a set of exercises and reps, or a
Of course.
style of training, because I myself train that way. But 60% of my training is play.
Yeah. It's obviously an interesting way to look at games, especially just not for entertainment, but it has a lot of impact on your mental health. And people tend to forget, to keep your inner child also to be happy. So yeah, with that, for all the people who think, for all the people who are stuck at their life right now and they feel that they can never move on or come out of it, what would you like to say?
I would suggest, I would not actually suggest, because it's a journey. What has helped me, I can share that. First step was self reflection, reflecting on my own action and thoughts according to the external environment as well as internal environment. What's going within me?
Yeah.
If there is lot of traffic outside, and I'm stuck in the traffic, am I cribbing, or am I focusing on my breath, or maybe just listening to a good music or a podcast? Same situation, different approach. So this happens only when you reflect on your own action and thoughts. The second was embracing change. It's very difficult when things change the way we don't want. It is difficult, hard, and also when we lose people from our lives who matter. So, after my divorce, I had a very tough relationship with my parents, and it changed. And I didn't want it that way, because I was always staying alone on my own, out of my hometown since 20 years now. So for me, it was very difficult to make them understand that being divorced is okay. They supported me, but still, like the narrative, the conversation which I used to have before my marriage and after, it's changed. But then I embraced it. I
Yeah.
had to, and I also understood that, it's okay for people to feel upset about some things. But was it my fault? No, it wasn't. So this was destined and it happened. How can I take away good things from it and then learn and move on?
Yeah.
So self and can only happen through and embracing the change, that okay, change has happened. I didn't want it to happen, but maybe this happened because I needed it. And the third thing was self-care. Amidst all the change and chaos, you have to take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
Learn, educate yourself, empower yourself through different tools and kits. There are courses, there's a friend, whom you can talk to. There are different kind of counselors, healers, coaches. Sign up for something you really feel called for, and not just keep yourself busy doing something, not like that, but mindfully. And then food, as I told you, it plays a huge role of what I eat and how I sleep. And so 90% I keep it very disciplined, 10% is just chill, just enjoy, celebrate, have social connection, party hard. It's okay. Out of 30 days, if like say 5 days I don't sleep on time and wake up on time, it's okay. But 25 days I'm focused and disciplined.
Yeah.
It's like that. And I feel the last few things I would like to say, that learning from setbacks. Like there is a saying in parkour, obstacle is the way. So when people see this like a rail as an obstacle, or that's an obstacle, I have to take the other way around. I say this is the way. So adapt your body and mind according to the obstacle. So the obstacle is the way. And staying consistent in whatever you feel like is helping you or serving you, being consistent in it. First, believing that, okay, this is my path. Then being consistent, showing up, even if some days you're not motivated. You are disciplined, so you show up, you go, you do your work, you give your input, come back and be happy.
Yeah. So obviously one thing at a time. So yeah, with that we come to the end of our session, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I personally feel that you've gone through a lot and you're very strong that you've become this person today. And I hope you reach great heights. I hope you had a great time as with me as well.
Yes, thank you. Like I really love sharing and caring, and thank you for giving me a chance to share my story as
Of
well.
course.